Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Exodus, the 9th chapter. Then the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, God of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. So yet again, Moses is sent to go and, tell Pharaoh, the message of the Lord. For if thou refuse to let them go, and wilt hold them still, behold, the hand of the Lord Yahweh is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. And when you go into that, it's basically like a pestilence that affects the livestock. Let's look into that word murrain. What was that? Dabara or dabar, in the sense of destroying. Okay, pestilence, plague, cattle disease. So basically, this cattle will be smitten with this disease. And the Lord Yahweh shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt, and there shall nothing die of all that is the children's of Israel. And just like the Lord, made this difference and this separation back then, when he brought the plagues upon ancient Egypt, he will do the same now, except this time it won't be all of Israel, it'll be the elect. Okay, going to show you, right, that even in those times when the Lord brought those plagues, he preserved, those that he chose to preserve, which in this case were Israel. So this disease would affect the cattle of the Egyptians, but those of the Israelites would be fine. And the Lord Yahweh appointed a set time, saying, Tomorrow the Lord Yahweh shall do this thing in the land. So tomorrow by this time, this plague is going to come upon your cattle. And the Lord did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died. But of the cattle of the children of Israel died not one. And this was a very big loss for them, especially financially. Okay, because, and for other means and purposes, but cattle is a great part of your wealth as well. Okay, oxen, asses are transportation, right? They carry burdens. They're very, very useful. Oxen are also useful for plowing, right? To create the furrows in the ground, and for husbandry, they're very important, and even also sometimes for treading the treading on the threshing floor. So to lose them and along with the other animals, that was a very big hit. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. So he basically sent to go and inspect, and they found out all of the cattle of the Israelites were fine. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened. So yet again, when he saw that, the Lord hardened his heart again, and he did not let the people go. And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, Take you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. So basically throw it up into the air like dust. And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt. And let's look at the word blains. It says here, Baayath, oh, Baalath. Interesting. Okay. Blisters, boils. Okay. So, well, I did mention that boils breaking forth with blisters or blains, as it says, upon man. Let me look up the Strong's definition as well. Okay, it says here, an inflammatory pustule or eruption, blains. Let's look at what this is. But whatever it is, certainly was not pleasant. Okay, it says here it's a red, swollen, pus-filled bump on the skin, commonly seen in acne, where the body's immune response, yada, 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 yada. Okay. So whatever this was, it certainly was not pleasant. And it would be upon them and their cattle, right, of the Egyptians and their beasts. And they took, Moses and Aaron, that is, ashes of the furnace, and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven, and it became a boil, breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast. So as he sprinkled up into the air, eventually it permeated through the air, and then boils started to form on the Egyptians and their animals. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. Whew. For the boil was upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians. So it was so much. Imagine that, your face, in between your eyes, your nose, and your nostrils, your ears, your chest, your private parts. Oh. And the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, for he hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had spoken unto Moses. And the Lord said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. So at another point in time after this plague, and say unto him, Thus saith Yahweh, God of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. So pretty much they were gonna suffer, right, at the hand of this pestilence. And these plagues that the Lord brought, the equivalent of them being cut off, because not all of them died, but the equivalent of that was the devastation or the damage that it brought, because some people did die, right? But also the height of their kingdom at one point in what it was drastically reduced and brought down because of this. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up, for to shew in thee my power, and that my name might be declared through all the earth. So the Lord used Pharaoh in Egypt to as it says, make his name and his power recognized in the earth again. As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou wilt not let them go? So are you still continuing to exalt yourself against my people? Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as hath not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even until now. Send therefore now and gather thy cattle and all that thou hast in the field, for upon every man and beast which shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die. So we're talking about huge, dangerous. I mean, rain and hail, that's like almost like the angel shooting from the heavens down. He that feared the word of the Lord Yahweh among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the houses. See, so some of them were wise enough to see after all these plagues, they said, okay, you know what, we ain't going to take our chances with this one. But remember, Pharaoh didn't, because his heart was hardened, and those that were with him. And he that regarded not the word of the Lord left his servants and his cattle in the field. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch forth thine hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man and upon beast and upon every herb of the field, throughout the land of Egypt. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord Yahweh sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground, and the Lord rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt, since it became a nation. So can you imagine the sight of this? Hail coming down and fire, like lighting up the ground? Shit. It says here, so, I'm going to read it again. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt since it became a nation. So you got hail coming down, and you basically, I don't even know how to describe it, hail fires. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field, and brake every tree of the field. So it destroyed their cattle, it destroyed the people, it destroyed their herbs. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, there was there no hail. So they were fine. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron, and said unto them, I have sinned this time. The Lord Yahweh is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Entreat the Lord, for it is enough that there be no more mighty thunderings and hail, and I will let you go, and ye shall stay no longer. So he got desperate. And Moses said unto him, As soon as I am gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands unto the Lord Yahweh, and the thunder shall cease. Neither shall there be any more hail, that thou mayest know how that the earth is the Lord Yahweh's. But as for thee and thy servants, I know that ye will not yet fear the Lord Yahweh. So he says, there's still more plagues to come. So I know that once this stops, your heart is going to be hardened again, and you're going to go right back to how you were before. And the flax and the barley was smitten, for the barley was in the ear, meaning it was ripe, and the flax was bold. Likewise, so let me see if they have this easier. All right, so NLT says, all the flax and barley were ruined by the hail, because the barley had formed heads and the flax was budding. But the wheat and the rye were not smitten, for they were not grown up. So because they weren't ripe, right, they hadn't grown to the point of being able to be used, they were good. And Moses went out of the city from Pharaoh, and spread abroad his hands unto the Lord Yahweh. And the thunderings and hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. So once he saw, okay, everything is good now, back to square one. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, neither would he let the children of Israel go, as the Lord Yahweh had spoken by Moses. And that brings us to the end of Exodus, the 9th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.